Hey guys, welcome back. Peter Gosling, Glassbox Barbershop and Academy. Today we're going to be going through a one-length haircut with tension, but instead of using scissors, we're going to be using a razor. So we're going to be, like I said, using the razor today. All right, there's a couple things we really need to take in consideration while using the razor. Number one is moisture control. All right, there's a big difference between razor cutting and scissor cutting. Scissor cutting, you get more of a club cut line. Okay, when I say club cut, that means more blunt or more straight. Okay, what I'd like to see is more of a broken up line similar to our comb. So when we're using our razor, instead of using a very strong perimeter, we're going to break it up for something a little bit softer. Okay, more natural. All right. Now, in saying that, we want to be very mindful. If the hair is not wet while we're cutting, what can happen is we can rip the hair. If the hair is being ripped, it's breaking the mid shaft, which will cause worse split ends, and it will become very fuzzy. So we have to be very mindful when we're doing our razor cutting. So again, what we're going to do, we're going to work step by step, very similar to one of our other videos we have on our YouTube channel, which you can also check out, One Length with Scissors. We're going to be working in the same method and the same sectioning patterns. Okay guys, back to basics once again. As you can see, we've sectioned the hair off in our 4 different quadrants, okay, and we've taken our first horizontal section. Okay, as you can see, it's only about a finger's width, and we're going to work that finger's width section horizontally the whole way up to the apex. Okay, so once again, just to be mindful and for good measure, we're going to make sure that hair is nice and wet. Now, there's a difference between, again, the scissor cut and the razor cut. Because usually when we're combing down with the scissor, we're cutting below our fingers. What we're going to be focusing on now is cutting above our fingers. All right? This can be a little bit trickier to find our guideline. Okay? But again, we're going to take our time. We're going to slow the process down. We're also going to have fun. Okay? And we're going to learn a little bit more about cutting with a razor. Okay? So, again, body position, extremely important. Making sure we have our power stance on and our back is straight. We're going to comb directly from the root, mimic our comb all the way down, and we're going to use the front little bit of the razor just to put in our guideline. Yeah, 49, no problem. Let's start that again. Okay. So here we are. We're back. Our first section, we're going to be focusing on our body posture, okay? We don't want to be hunched over again. We want to make sure we're standing up nice and straight, taking care of our body, okay? Our comb is going to go in, and we're going to be bringing the hair down. If you watched our last tutorial on the one-length haircut with scissors, you'll see when we comb the hair down, we were cutting below our fingers. What we're going to be doing this time is we're actually going to be cutting above our fingers. As you can see, this razor actually has a safety guard on it, which prevents me from cutting my fingers. If you're not using a safety guard, just be very mindful and be very careful. You don't want to cut yourself, okay? So, focusing on my position, I'm going to comb straight from the root, take my subsection, mimicking my comb, and I'm going to cut just above my fingers. Okay? What I'm actually doing is I'm using a tapping method, and it's balancing between my fingers. I'm not ripping at the hair. It's more of a tapping method. Okay? Again, focusing on side to side, going to change my position. All right? And now I'm actually going to use the heel of the blade because I'm coming this way. Whichever way feels more comfortable for you, go nuts, knock yourself out. But the reality is, technique-wise, I'm going to focus on using the heel of the blade on my left side, and I'm going to use the toe of the blade on my right side. Okay? Like I said, I have beautiful moisture control in there, bringing it down, finding that guide, and just tapping that with the heel. If you need to go over some areas, that's fine. Again, you're not going to get a perfect line. We don't want a perfect line. What we want is something a little softer, more broken up. I like to call this a haircut that looks like it hasn't been cut. Okay? So like I said, we focused on this side. We're going to move to this side, changing our body position and our foot position, combing directly from the root. Okay? And like I said, I'm going to use the toe of the blade now, just following that along. And you should have your hair left in your fingers if your tension is correct. And it's okay with razor cutting to refine areas. If you didn't get it all in one go, it's okay. You can go back just to make sure. Okay? And you're going to train your eye. What you're actually focusing on is you're going to train your eye to make sure that it looks visually balanced. Okay? Like I said, don't be so worried if it doesn't look perfect. The razor is not supposed to be a perfect look. It's supposed to show a little bit of imperfection. Okay? Like I said previously, we're going to be working up in horizontal sections until the apex or the top of the head. Okay? Very focused still though on clean sections. All right? Taking my comb, driving it to my index finger. Nice clean sections. Clipping that off out of the way so we can work disciplined and clean. What I do on one side, I'm also going to do on the other. Working my way up the head. Okay? Once again, being very mindful, we need to make sure there's consistency of moisture in the hair. If there's not consistency of moisture, once again, you're more likely to end up with an uneven cutting line, because if this hair is drying and this hair is wet, the elasticity is much different. Okay? Focus once again. I can take a small subsection. Okay? Driving that comb from the root all the way down. And here's the difference now, is I have to be very mindful of where my guideline is. Okay, I don't want to be cutting past my guideline too much because I'll be leaving excess length, but it's okay if you pass the guide a little bit. Okay, once I can see it, slowly, softly put that in. As you can see, I'm not tugging at the hair. Okay, it's a very, very fluent movement. Okay, it's something that will come with time and practice. Don't worry if you feel like you're ripping the hair. It takes time to get comfortable with this tool. Once again, looking for that guide. I can see it's quite predominant there. I'm going to use the heel of the blade and just moving side to side. Okay, looking beautiful, nice and broken. Like I said previously on the last section, if you need to go back through because you see little bits, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's more about your body position, how you're using the tool, and you can always go through and refine, okay? Again, once again, finger width section, working my way up the head. So very similar to the one length haircut we did with tension and scissors. Like I said before, we've completed the back, okay? Very, very simple. We're now gonna be working our way up to the top of the head using horizontal sections on the side, okay? Again, I know that I sound very repetitive saying these things, but again, it's all about moisture and section control, okay? So I'm gonna slowly groom the hair in the direction that I want and take a very clean horizontal section just above the ear, okay? Sectioning that off, keeping the hair out of our client's face, and just combing that hair down, okay? Once again, very focused on moisture control, all right? And if you can guess where we're getting our guide from, you got it, you're right, it's coming from the back, once again, okay? So we're looking for our length throughout the back, okay? I don't want to bring it here all right, I just want to bring it completely square and forward, okay? And the reason being is because I'm trying to build a square shape here and a square shape here, okay? Okay. So like I said, I'm taking my guide from the back, but I'm not bringing it round off the head. I'm just bringing it straight and down, okay? I'm looking for my shortest point, okay? Just bringing it straight down. I'm going to give it a tap just above the ear there, and I'm going to look, and I'm just going to chip away at that length, okay? And I'm going to work all the way to the front, okay? Again, looking for that shortest point, tapping, okay? Still again, looking for that guideline, tapping just above the ear until all that excess length has been removed. Okay? Once again, working horizontal sections all the way to the front. Okay, keeping that client happy with the hair off his or her face. Okay, and just assessing my line once again, combing straight down, looking for that guide, giving a quick tap, taking off that excess unwanted length. Okay, once again, nice little tap. Okay. Once again, nice little tap. Okay, as you guys can see, when I'm combing down, I'm not bringing or elevating the hair. I'm still trying to bring it to the most natural fall possible, okay? Okay, my last section, everything's coming to the natural fall. There might not be too much coming off, just a tiny little bit there. Okay, as I'm cutting hair, guys, I'm also looking and molding and manipulating the hair how I kind of want to see it at its end result. Okay, so it's always okay to be scrunching and moving the hair to make sure that you're happy with what you're doing, okay? So, like I said, what we do on one side, we're gonna focus and we're gonna move over to the other side, okay? Okay, beautiful. So we just finished our razor one length, okay? Now, I want to explain a couple things quickly. Yes, this can be a very quick and effective way to put in our perimeter. It leaves it much softer and almost like the hair hasn't been cut or has grown out. I find sometimes that if you're working with a scissor perimeter and it's very blunt, it can be very difficult and time consuming to eliminate that line. So as you can see, we have something very soft, something very natural. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put some product through, we're gonna blow dry it, okay, and then we're gonna finish. So I'm gonna be going in using the L'Oreal Bouncy Tender. This is a great product, and the reason being, it doesn't have strong hold. I want it to be very soft, okay? It has gel and has a cream through it, all right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna emulsify that through my hands once again, all right? I wanna make sure that I get lots of distribution and coverage, okay? So again, I'm not going through into the root because I don't wanna make the hair greasy. I'm just gonna scrunch the ends. And now I'm prepared for my blow dry. So I'm gonna go back in with my Dyson blow dryer once again. I choose to diffuse often. And the reason being is I love natural, beautiful hair. Okay, I don't feel, especially if this was a male coming into the barbershop, I don't feel he wants to see something too clean and too round brushed or too straight, right? I want to show that disheveledness, and I want to show how the hair can look quite natural. So I almost want this to appear like it's air dried, okay? So again, we're going to be using our diffuser, putting it on our dryer. We're going to be on this side, this is our heat, this side is our speed. I'm going to be at low speed, high heat. So as you can see, I'm moving my diffuser in and around the head. I'm not holding it there for any long periods of time because I want to protect the scalp and I don't want to hurt anybody, okay? If I'm holding it there for too long, the heat is too intense, it can burn the scalp, okay? So we want to be very mindful. At the same time, you can see I'm not moving or touching the hair too much. I'm just lightly guiding the dryer around so the hair will dry in the most natural way. If we seem to touch it too much, the hair will start to frizz, okay? So, like I said, in the previous video before, we're only gonna dry this probably up to about 85–90%. We want to leave some moisture in there, and the reason we wanna leave some moisture in there, it's gonna give more of a natural finish, okay? So like I said in a previous video, if you want, you can always get your client to tilt his head back, okay? You can put a towel there so they're comfortable, or if your chair reclines, much easier, much nicer. If you don't have chairs that recline, maybe look into getting some. They're fantastic. At the end of the day, I'm doing this for two reasons. One, it's for client comfort. Two, I want to protect myself. I don't want to be hunched over them, working around them when it's much easier for me to work this way. And three, if I want to add some volume, you can bring the hair off the head a little bit, okay? That can make the hair feel a little bit fuller, right? And it's much easier to dry. Gravity, bringing the hair down, okay? So once again, just to reiterate, I have not dried the hair completely 100%. If 0 is being the wettest and 100 is the driest, I'm only really looking to dry the hair about 80 to 90% tops, okay? The reality is I want a little bit of moisture in there. I'd like it to air dry a little bit, but what I will do is I'll go in with my L'Oreal Air Fix, okay? And I'll just finish the hair with a small little coat of hairspray, okay? That's gonna give it a little bit more hold on top of using the Bouncy Tender. And that's it. So congratulations, very simple and effective way of completing a razored one length, okay? At the end of the day, this is something that you would find myself doing in the salon or barbershop quite a lot, especially when working with more masculine or male clientele. And the reason being is because I want something a little softer and less blunt that I would have to go through and texturize afterwards. So it can be a very efficient and quick way of achieving those soft looks. So thank you for tuning in once again. My name is Peter Gosling from Glassbox Barbershop and Academy. Please hit the subscribe button below, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. More than happy to get back to you. Once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.